Hello everyone, it's Friday the 18th of January. First off, I want to say cheers, and I'll send this cheers out to, if you see it, Roger Coleman, cheers to you. And a reminder that the last thing that you put out, I really have not sat down and listened to that deeply since you put it out. And I imagine now that it's time to take it out and listen and really experience what you're doing. Cheers, Roger. Cheers, Carm. Cheers, Garrett. I know you watch me pretty regular. Cheers, everyone. I'm playing Murphy in the background because I often don't play music. Mainly reason why I don't play music is because when I play music, YouTube decides, well, somebody needs to get paid and they put an ad on. I don't like those ads. So I'm playing Murphy. This is my music. So if they put an ad on, I don't know why, because I have the right to play this music, okay? Speaking of my music, thank you very much for your response to the song The Rain by The Door and the video. Really happy to be working with Ariane. We have a full length, well, it's like, it's a short album. It's not a long album. It's about 9 songs. We're meeting today to finalize the artwork. We can afford to do a limited edition CD. I'd love to do vinyl, but we don't have the money. My band RAF is in the process of doing its first, well, not first album, but we're going to put it out on vinyl. And prices are crazy, you know. Stuff has gone up because of demand, you know. Printing vinyl is expensive. So the first thing with the door will be a CD. Okay, let's keep moving. I have some music to review, but I first want to speak about a musician who passed away. As I said, we're at that age now. We're all getting old, you know, and so this is just going to be the way it goes. My generation, the one before me and the one after me, we're getting at that age where we're passing. So another musician that is not well known but is highly influential to musicians and the making of music worldwide just passed. His name is Christian Burchard from the band Embryo. I have some of his records, don't have them all. Some of you hopefully know who Christian Burchard is. This is the first Embryo album. It's not an original. The original was on ore. It had a balloon that hung, you know, those are very collectible. Originals on this label, most of them are very collectible. Christian Burchard was someone who was working in the territory we called world music. Now, before it was popular, before the term was coined, he was merely experimenting, making music, working with musicians all over the world, and breaking new ground doing it. That's why you don't know about him, but you know his work, for those of you not real familiar. I used to have original copies of some of these records, but I bought them early on in the 70s, and I went through a lot of changes and got rid of these records. I'm sorry I did. This is a reissue of Embryo's Rosh. It's just fantastic. Here's one that they made, No Neck Blues Band. That's Christian there, not too many years ago. But this is a No Neck Blues Band album that they did a collaboration with Embryo. I highly recommend these records because improvisation and working with people can be really beautiful, especially when you reach what I call the zone. And the zone isn't always the same. I just know when I reach it or when it's been reached in music. Christian Burchard, to me, was a master of allowing the music to be free so that the zone could be found. Music, I strongly identify with this idea that music, we don't own the music and we don't invent it. It comes through us. And it's a privilege when we can really connect with it. And Christian is a musician who, like John Coltrane and some others that I really admire and have learned from, was a good example of getting out of the way of what's going to happen with the music. And as a result, wonderful things would happen. Let me just pull. I got a couple more. It's worth it. So then wonderful things would happen. I don't have as much as I'd like. These are Eloy, but here, this is one of my favorite, has one of my favorite pieces of music on it. And it's not like if you hear it, it's going to happen to you. It's what it means to me personally and how it came to me as a teen when I first heard it. But Embryo's album Steige Aus, what a cover. What a strange cover, huh? On Brain again. The song on here called Dreaming Girl is very, very dreamy, very psychedelic, very otherworldly. Mal Waldron, the jazz pianist, is on here. I mean, Christian Burchard was way ahead of the bunch as far as crossing lines when it came to lines of demarcation with musicians. He'd play with anyone, you know? So, rest in peace, Christian Burchard. On Facebook, in some of the music groups, if you follow me and are in the music groups, you can see from the posts of other musicians in particular how important Christian was. Some of them posting were friends of his. I never got to see them play. I wish. Serpent, even this is good. I mean, they've made all kinds of records, and they chased a little bit of commercial. You know, I think the record companies tried to make them chase money, and they tried, but they still always sounded like Embryo. And then Rock Session by Embryo. This is fantastic. Rest in peace, Christian Burchard. Another thing worth mentioning is that Wednesday was Ryuichi Sakamoto's birthday. I think he turned 70. Ryuichi is my favorite pianist. I love his touch and his feel. I love his composing. So I pulled a bunch of Sakamoto to play. Here's an old one of his I hardly ever play because it's really funky and groovy, and like the cover, Summer Nerves, this is really commercial, real happy, you know, but it's really good with the Kiko Yano and oh man, yeah, Sadao Watanabe, no, his son, Kazumi Watanabe on guitar. Love Sakamoto, love Sakamoto. Okay, besides this, I got some records, so let me do that first. I have a review to do that I will probably wait and do and listen some more. I could review the record now, I'll mention it, but first, Gary Two Sticks is his name here, who's been watching for a while, and we communicate on Facebook now. I'm not a chatter people, so if you try to get a hold of me on Messenger, I'm going to keep it short. I'm not going to chat. People are still trying to draw me into conversations. I understand why I'm not going to do it, I just don't have the time. But on Facebook, I'll have a little bit of interaction. I'm still going to keep it short. But Gary said he wanted to send me some records. He sent me 3. 2 of them I already had, so I'll show them. Well, The Land of Confusion Genesis, I have a bunch of copies. He sent me one of those. Then he sent me a 12-inch of Genesis' Illegal Alien, which of course I have. What's nice about this is that Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea are paired up like on the album, but on one record, cut with the big thick groove. So this is an addition to what I have, and it's fun. I played it already, but what he sent that I really like, that's a nice addition, is this Brand X excerpts, live 3 from Livestock, a promo EP. Brand X with Phil Collins and Kenwood Denard on drums. This is very cool because it has one unreleased track. It's nothing big, but it's still unreleased, so it makes this more, well, it gives it relevance, you know, why make this? Plus the tracks are edited fades for the radio. So Gary, thank you for this. And Gary, you have some cool records too. You do. I've been seeing what you're posting. Let me just say this much, because I think that Jason, who sent me his album, would like a good review, and I'm going to wait, but I'm going to show it this one, okay? I'm not sure how to say his name. Jason Vitisplach? I first encountered him in the Facebook group Fraternal Order of Astral Travelers, which is a group of record collectors. A lot of these guys are kind of esoteric. I mean, guys who have those $1,000 and $10,000 records and they show them, you know. Well, Jason's in that group. He's a DJ, music maker. He has some amazing records that I never see. He just recently showed the Dereck column with the sandpaper cover. I haven't seen one of those in real life since it first came out. Anyway, he put out an album called the Oak Creek Recordings and said he wanted to send it to me. Here it is. My initial impression of this is good, but it's deep. It's going to require deep listening, so I'm going to come back to it. Okay. What else? There's been some records I haven't got to mentioning, and I want to put them away. Jade Warrior, Kites, English band. Again, they were doing things ahead of the times with ambience, world music, space. They started out as a rock band proper, coming out of the band July, and then they just kept getting more and more interesting. This, I think, could be their best album when it comes to the switch. There's a few others that are with this cover. I have a couple of them. Can I grab it? Jade Warrior. I just have a couple. Floating World. There's another one. I think there's two more. There might be two more. So there's Kites, which is my favorite of these. Floating World, which is beautiful. And there's Way of the Sun. Is there another in this? This is almost like a series for them. So I have 3 of these. I think there might be a 4th one. Hadn't played Kites in a long time. It is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Something that's been, okay, I've been wanting to talk about this. Here's an album that I was going to sell. Actually, I was going to try to sell it to Hugo, my friend with the new record player, because he loves Michael Jackson. This is a Stevie Wonder album from a period where people poo-poo this. I poo-pooed it. It's like, oh, here's Stevie Wonder again. He's lost his mojo. Characters. This came out in '87. There's a Michael Jackson duet on it. It starts off really, really forgettable, okay? But I took it over to Hugo's to play for him, and as a result of listening to it with him, he didn't pay any attention to it much. I said, damn, this album is good. By the time we're almost done on side 2, it's like, oh, there's Stevie Wonder's passion. This album is not completely phoned in. There are some forgettable tracks on here. But Crying Through the Night and Galaxy Paradise, this is real Stevie Wonder. I posted this, and I'm going to come, this is a slight rant. I posted this in several groups, and as I expected, some snooty collectors posted dismissive comments, and I shot right back because I said to them, you know, I spoke like you before I listened to this album. So I'm telling you now that you haven't listened to this album. There is passion, and Stevie is present here. This is a good album. I used to be a snobby collector, and I have to fight that sometimes. You know, when you know about music and you keep encountering people who don't know anything about music, it can really grate on you. It really can. Here's something else I played that I don't often play. György Ligetti's Adventures. Modern contemporary classical composer, whatever you want to call him, for 3 singers and 7 instrumentalists. This is the sort of thing that will clear a room, and a lot of people don't really listen to this, but when I'm in the mood, I do. You could call part of what's going on here vocal gymnastics, testing of ideas, but what is cool about Ligeti is that he doesn't just do things for the sake of, well, let's try this, let's try this. His compositions draw you in to his ideas, and it's like, whoa, this is some very cool shit I have never heard anywhere else. So I was getting into some Ligeti. I'll go till I'm done here, and this video will take a while to upload. Played some more Sakamoto. I've got a bunch of Sakamoto, but Left-Handed Dream with Adrian Belew and Robin Scott. This is a really tasty album, and I don't think it's his best album, but a lot of people think it's his best album. What I think is this is an album of his that, I don't know why it didn't, but in my mind, it really had everything for it to shoot him into the commercial mainstream, and it didn't. Excellent album. I was also listening to, I love this band. Here, yeah, I want to get to this. Okay, it's still out. Yes. Vashti Bunyan. I don't know if I talked about this. Some things just stick in your mind. Wow. She really had that essence. She's still alive, but when she would sing the guitar and play, it was so intimate. She's singing songs that are very personal, mainly about relationships or about a broken heart, or, you know what I mean? But the way she conveys it, it's like she just pulls you in, and it's like you're inside of her. And this is just fantastic. Some things just stick in your mind. Singles and demos. Fantastic. And pulled this because someone was showing it online. Every now and then I get in the mood for Porcupine Tree and I play them. And then when I do, they're addictive to me, and I usually end up playing a lot of them. But I just end up playing this all the way through. Fear of a Blank Planet by Porcupine Tree. This is the limited edition version. Comes in a box with a huge poster. I have no place to put the posters up. Numbered 371 out of 1,000. Big picture book. This album, a lot of junk, a lot of ephemera. Steve Wilson knows about us record collectors. He knows that we like this stuff. But this album is addictive, and blue vinyl. And it's a hard rocker. Some Porcupine Tree fans complain, well, I like their earlier stuff when they didn't sound like a metal band. All I have to say is when you stop listening to your opinion and just listen to the music, you can discover things. And that's something I've learned to do, which is why I'm able to go back and appreciate music that I said I didn't like. And it's why I'm able to give credit to people whose music I wouldn't buy, but do they have any talent, or are they doing anything substantial? If I can hear it, I'll recognize it and admit it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. Okay, 17 minutes. Let's see how long this video takes to upload. Again, regarding The Door and the Rain, if you like us and you can spare $2, buy a download. Seriously, all that money, which ain't much of it, I'm going to use to help press up this CD. Okay, help us out.